still carry a tickle stick, you know, sneak them out from behind. But yeah, you gotta either snare or take them by hand. If you get some Kevlar gloves or something, you can just grab it.
Yeah, I caught one once barehanded and never again.
You guys ever seen a frangipani worm?
Yeah.
It's a little guy, but they're super pretty.
Where are you from?
Well, I've lived here for 5 years,
Uh-huh.
but from Virginia. And Alex here from Maine.
Golden name.
Yeah, I was just I'm actually working up there right now, and I'm just on vacation.
What are you doing up there?
Working on a windjammer. You know those big old schooners?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my job as of this year post Irma. The boats I worked on here got destroyed, so I had to go look elsewhere for work and found that really awesome opportunity to do some traditional sailing. So yeah, season ended and I helped deliver a powerboat from Key Largo to here, and now I'm just on vacation for a few more days and then back to Maine, where it is indeed getting cold and I don't want to go back at all.
Both of mine are.
Where did you get the snare?
I don't know, a buddy of mine got it. There was a ton of them floating around after Irma because people were leaving island. They don't sell them around here. Maybe on St. Thomas, but St. John, they don't really encourage lobster snaring to the tourists, so that the snares aren't readily available in public. You gotta have like the right connection. And I honestly don't even know if they're around or if people are just ordering them on Amazon, because this green snare, they're a dime a dozen. They're like $20.
I was looking for something collapsible and didn't find it that you could put in a duffel bag.
Right.
But didn't find anything.
Yeah. Yeah, they make collapsible spears too. And spears are actually illegal in the park unless you're a certified CORE member, which is Caribbean Oceanic Restoration and Education. It's lionfish hunting.
Ah.
And
Yeah, we've seen them.
Yeah, I do that too, but not while I'm on vacation.
Yeah, half this beach looks like it has sand last time I came down.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean after Irma?
Yeah, the half of it's like all just rock and coral, and then the other half looks like it's got a little bit of sand on it. That's where the trail is.
The sand was like up to that, if not on top.
It was on top of that because I never even knew there was a block there.
I knew there was. I remember having some kind of awareness of that structure.
Jesus. I have a picture with my GoPro sitting over here. So now I'll have to take a picture with this thing and set the camera up roughly where it was.
Yeah, right. And then compare the two.
See anything cool?
Yeah, I just went out there to take a octopus, and I ended up swimming with an octopus. And that's like my ultimate mission, is find an octopus. And I hadn't even been thinking about it. And then, bam, he's just right in front of my face. And I kept going back down and hanging out with him. And I successfully took a poop out there. Over around Honeymoon, there's a couple French angelfish, which is another one of my favorites. They're fucking beautiful. They're black with yellow spots all over them. And maybe I'm just tripping, but I think this mask works. Because, like, I got up in this school of striped grunts, and I mean, I was like in their faces, and they're just looking right at me. Maybe it's just like been a long freaking time since I went snorkeling, and I forgot how awesome it is. But I swear to God, I've never been that close to an entire school of fish before. And the toothpaste trick totally worked. That was an entirely fog-free dive. Snorkel, whatever. Did a ton of free diving. I got a couple 1-minute dives in.
Very nice.
I don't think there's anything else like particularly cool. I went out and saw the grass eels that have lived at Honeymoon since I moved here 5 years ago. Have you ever seen grass eels before?
No.
They're really cute. Okay, so you know in The Little Mermaid when Ursula turns the mer people into these like creepy green,
Yeah.
they look like seaweed?
Yeah.
She's turning them into grass eels. Grass eels live in a hole and stick their little heads out, and they're super cute. They're only like this big around and like this long, and there's like a field of them out there.
Oh no shit.
And it's in the exact same spot my friend Dennis showed me when I first moved here, February 2014. That was almost 5 years ago. And like, every time I go back to that spot, they're still there, even fucking post-hurricane life. There's tons of comb jellies. You know what those are? Walnut jellies?
No.
They're like this, and they're clear, and they don't have any tentacles, and they're all like weird shaped. They look like fucking the abyss or some shit, and they got little lights that go down their sides, and it's hard to see in the daytime, but if you get up really close to one and just stare at it, you can see their little, it's like their feet or something, and they refract the light as they move. So these little rainbow stripes go down their sides.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And there's like a bloom of those right now, because I mean they're out there in the millions. When you're swimming around, you can feel them bouncing off you like jelly. More importantly, the reason that you time every dive is that every single time you do a dive, when you come to the surface, you do what's called a surface interval, which is time spent at the surface between dives. And it should always be twice the amount of time that you spent underwater. So if you do a 30-second dive, you can't dive again for a minute. If you do a minute-long dive, you can't dive again for 2 minutes. And what that does is it regulates the oxygen in your blood. Because if you do 3 1-minute dives in a row, then you're out of oxygen. You might think you're good. You go down for that 4th 1-minute dive, you're fucking dead.
Damn.
We came from that way, yeah?
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like how much lower all that is just washed.
Yeah, that's fucking wreckage. Like, that looks nothing like it used to.
Fuck.
And there's some kind of wall.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't.
Because I remember going by it every time I was like, oh, I'm going to honeymoon. And I'd have to come through here and I'd see these power lines and I'd see that.
Yeah, the power
Bit of a
lines were
wall.
fucked up.
But I'm just surprised how much this it even leans that way.
You should get a picture here.
I'm getting a video.
Oh, you right now? Sweet. So, and then compare that with the other.
Oh, like this part almost looks more normal to me.
Yeah, this definitely.
Back to like where it was.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't remember this actually like dipping down that much. Like maybe a little, but not that much. Fuck, man. All the trails actually look a little different to me. Like there's certain trees that were I used to like on the way from to Solomon. There were like trees that I remember like in the middle of the path, and I'm like, oh yeah, these trees. So I'm like 2/3 of the way there. I'm almost there. Now they're just gone. So I'm
They're
like,
gone.
my markers are gone.
Yeah, there's still some stuff that's still standing, but like another thing on Reef Bay Trail, they actually rerouted part of it. So
Really?
yeah, there are parts where it's like you've never walked that shit before.
Because it's all fucking different. Oh, actually, there's line down. I imagine it's safe,
I'm sure it is.
but it's just like, really?
We don't stand on it.
Yeah, yeah. On the off chance.
Right.
Holy fuck.
So, back to freediving safety. Always time yourself. Always double time yourself between dives.
Gotcha.
That's a simple standard that will keep you from killing yourself. People go out, they get really excited, they do 4 hard dives in a row, they're fighting with a lobster or something all by themselves. They're fucking not paying attention, they're not controlling their breathing or their O2 levels, and they black out underwater and die. Once a year, St. John loses somebody to freediving.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
at least once a year. So, shallow water blackout is a very particular phenomenon that comes partially from what I was just talking about, which is not regulating your O2 levels, and partially from the phenomenon of being in deep water. That doesn't happen while you're scuba diving. So, people always say, don't you have to ascend slowly like scuba diving? And it's like, no. The reason that you have to ascend slowly while exhaling in scuba diving is that you're breathing compressed air. So if you take a breath 20 feet down where you're almost at a full atmosphere's worth of pressure more, it's almost 2 times the pressure that we're experiencing right now. At 33 feet, it is 2 times the pressure.
Right.
If you take a breath down there of compressed air and you fill your lungs with oxygen such that they are pressurized against the outside pressure underwater, that's a shitload of air in your lungs. And if you ascend while holding your breath with a lung full of compressed air from 30 feet down, your lungs will literally explode. Because the air, as the pressure decreases,
Expands.
that pressurized air takes up more room. And it fills your lungs like a balloon, and they pop. And it'll kill you instantly. If you come up from 30 feet with a lung full of compressed air, you're not going to live to tell about it. So they always teach in scuba diving, you gotta fucking stop on your way up, you gotta exhale the whole time. You can't make that mistake. In freediving, that is not a concern at all.